Hey everybody, Adam the Movie Guy here, and welcome to the show where on this episode, I will be talking all things Halloween since, well, if you read the title, it's Summerween, baby, a fictional holiday started in the animated show Gravity Falls. A show I actually never even fucking seen, but should probably check out someday. Anyway, there's an episode of the show where the characters celebrate Halloween in summer, so it's basically the spooky equivalent to Christmas in July, another holiday seasonal mashup I love. So on this episode, I'll be talking about my love of witches, my favorite witches in fiction, and if you're wondering why the fuck would all the witch talk, well, it's somewhat related to the real meat and potatoes of the episode, which is, is a retrospective on the B-movie Halloween classic, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, which, oh my god, I need to stop doing that, is the only film in the entire Halloween series to not have anything to do with Michael Myers whatsoever. Now, this movie has been shit on for years, just for that reason alone, and that is such horse pussy because this movie's fun as fuck. I am sick to death of people skipping over Halloween 3 just because Michael isn't in the movie. Take his cock out of your mouths, people. There's plenty of films featuring your boy, alright? So settle the fuck down and be more open-minded. Now, the movie is a great throwback to those B movies of the 1950s, particularly Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but with some 1980s bloody carnage and a tiny bit of TNA to get your blood pumping somewhere other than your brain. But before I get into the movie, for the first segment, I want to talk about witches for just a bit. So, let's get started. Sup, witches? Now, the first scary witch I want to mention is one of the oldest ones in the book. Grimm's fairy tale book, to be exact. I'm talking about the Candy Witch from Hansel and Gretel. This is one of the most famous examples of cannibal witches in fiction, and the Candy House Witch has been scaring the absolute shit out of children and adults and teaching them important lessons since the 1300s. That lesson being, don't immediately trust every stranger they come across, despite their seemingly friendly demeanor at first. You never know who's a murderer, sexual predator, or in this case, a fucking cannibal. There are two portrayals of the Candy Witch that I absolutely love, and both are vastly different. The first is the pure horror approach that comes from one of the most underrated action films ever released, and that is Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters, which stars Jeremy Renner, aka Hawkeye from the Avenger movies, and Gemma Arterton as the brother and sister duo. The opening of the movie is the retelling of the classic story of Hansel and Gretel being captured by the witch, with Hansel being force-fed sweets and candy to fatten him up, and the witch is just barely fucking human. She's more like this old beast woman, and she's played dead fucking serious. Take a listen to the clip of her abusing Hansel and Gretel before they overcome her and throw her big ass in the oven. And that is how you portray a scary witch in a fairy tale to me. When the witch slaps the absolute fuck out of Gretel, who's like 10 years old, I was like, holy shit, she's not fucking around here. And how twisted is it that you're literally making the kids you're about to eat, and they know it, heat up the oven for you? That's just fucked up. Gretel comes to the save when the witch is trying to throw Hansel into the oven by stabbing the fuck out of her with a butcher's knife, and Hansel tags in there with a shovel, knocking her into the oven door, and both of them shutting it, frying her ass good. And the best part was Gretel's little one-liner.
Coming up for you now, bitch!
Fucking beautiful. Now on to my other favorite portrayal of the Candy Witch, which... that is the polar opposite of horror, where she's played for comedy. And that example is from the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror special, where they do a retelling of Hansel and Gretel with Bart and Lisa in the roles and Homer coming to the rescue. Take a listen to it.
Sweep faster! It's almost time for your beating!
Oh, this is horrible. Horribly delicious. You know, she's only fattening you up so she could eat you. What are you gonna do? Well, at least stop basting yourself.
Stop your chattering and sweep! This house is filthy!
So what do you care? It's not like you have friends.
I have a boyfriend!
Yeah,
Sure. What? I do!
Oh, yeah? What's his name?
George! Cauldron!
George Cauldron? Maybe he can mix me up with Ed Ladle.
That's it! Into the oven with you!
Sugar, whoa.
Father, I knew you'd rescue us.
I'll rescue you, stuff myself with candy. It's all good.
Oh, that's a load-bearing candy cane, you clumsy oaf! Ah! Oh, God, no! Let me out! I couldn't be in more pain!
Hello, I'm George Cauldron. Is Suzanne ready yet?
Almost. Just give her another 20 minutes.
But the concert's at 8.
I swear, classic Simpsons hits like nobody's business, man. And when Bart starts basting himself, that shit had me cackling like a witch. But what tops that is that it turns out the witch wasn't bullshitting and she actually did have a boyfriend. Good for her. Now on to the next scary witch, and that is the witch from Robert Eggers' movie, The Witch. Yeah, I know, very direct title. I wish I had audio clips, but she doesn't talk in the movie from what I recall, which, fuck, I keep doing it. I swear I'm not doing this on purpose, people. Calm down, remember your blood pressure. Anyway, I don't have audio clips of her, but funny enough, her being silent is even more unnerving. And her kidnapping the baby and straight up murdering him and using his remains to make ointment was fucking disturbing. And it's somewhat implied that she straight up raped the other brother, who's like 13, when she lured him into the woods disguised as a sexy witch. Holy shit, that was a dark movie, guys. Although, the last thing I want to say about this witch is that her disguise from old crone to the very young sexy witch is kind of fucking funny, since she's dressed like what a model would cosplay for Halloween today, which, okay, I give up. I don't care anymore. Which somewhat took me out of the film slightly, although to be fair, she was purposely trying to lure the brother in by being sexy as possible, and she definitely achieved that. I would have came in, and I mean that in multiple ways. Now on to the final scary witch, and this is the one that all evil witches in modern times owe an inspiration from, at least to some degree. She is perhaps the evil witch in fiction, and the one you're more than likely picturing in your head if asked to name an evil fictional witch. And that is the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz, portrayed by Margaret Hamilton.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
Now, Margaret Hamilton will forever be a legend for her iconic portrayal as the Wicked Witch of the West. Everything about her is memorable, from the way she talks, what she wears, and of course her green skin and fire powers. It is a damn shame that there was a lot more footage and scenes that were shot for the Wicked Witch of the West from the original Oz movie, but it was cut out and forever lost, with the reason being it apparently was considered too scary for kids. Now, that is a fucking bummer, because what we do get of her is absolutely perfect. And she just steals the spotlight every single scene she's in, which is... Motherfucker, I did it again. Which is extremely impressive. when you consider how perfectly casted the Wizard of Oz movie was. And her interactions with Judy Garland's Dorothy is just amazing, and it makes me wish they made a sequel and somehow revived the witch just to see more of her scenes of their characters interacting and see how their rivalry could develop. But you know what? It's probably for the best we got this one diamond of a movie. The Wicked Witch of the West impact on how witches are portrayed in fiction cannot be understated. The last thing I want to say is, although not very great, I actually do have a soft spot for the sort of prequel, sort of standalone movie Oz the Great and Powerful. It's beautiful visually. James Franco portrayed a very good younger version of the wizard before he ruled the land of Oz, and Mila Kunis gives it her all as Theodora, who becomes the Wicked Witch of the West. And while she's definitely no Margaret Hamilton, to be fair, no one fucking is, the face makeup they used for the Wicked Witch in this movie looked kinda fucking weird to me. But there was one thing they truly nailed, and that is the iconic evil witch cackle. Here's the scene from the prequel movie Oz the Great and Powerful, where Theodora becomes the Wicked Witch of the West and lets out that evil laugh. I get chills. Say what you will about the movie, but they nailed that damn laugh.
You want to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Now on to the other end of the witch portrayal spectrum. Sexy witches. Damn, I'm getting bricked up already. I haven't even started. Woo! Now, I got 3 great examples. But before I get to listing them, I want to give the origin with my infatuation with witches and why they're such a turn on for me. And once I say it, everybody listening will say, well, that actually does make logical sense. Or at the very least, what I consider logical in my warped, barely functioning mind. It all started when I was 7. I walked into the living room and my mom was watching TV. The Old People channel, whatever the fuck it was back in 2003 in Illinois. Anyway, my mom was watching a classic 1960s sitcom you may all have heard of called Bewitched, which starred Elizabeth Montgomery as Samantha Stevens, a young, recently married woman who happened to be... What do you think she was, guys? Come on. Come on. Give up? Okay, fuck it, I'm just gonna say it. She's a witch. And upon seeing her for the first time, I thought she was the most beautiful woman in the world, even topping Fay Wray from King Kong, who I saw not that long before seeing Bewitched at that age. It all started with Sam from Bewitched and how witches became a thing for me. I personally believe if they're not scaring the fuck out of you, they're making you horny. Everybody knows this. That is a fact. You can't dispute that.
He's out of line, but he's right.
That's what's truly great about witches. They can make you scared shitless, horny, or both. Usually both, at least in my case, which is the best combination personally. They're very flexible when it comes to interpretations. Now on to 3 examples of sexy witches in fiction and which ones casted a spell on me. I was trying to be clever, fuck off. Alrighty, going in ascending order for this one, everybody. I'm gonna start off from 3 and work my way up to the number 1 spot. Starting at number 3 is Katrina Van Tassel from the 1999 Tim Burton film Sleepy Hollow.
Who's got the kiss for that Pikachu witch? Is it Theodore?
No, probably Miss Simon Street.
Then have a kiss on account.
I'm looking for Baltus Van Tassel.
I'm his daughter, Katrina Van Tassel.
This movie is a gothic horror throwback to Hammer Film Studios, and Christina Ricci as Katrina is so beautiful, and she just had me like this every single time she was on screen.
I'll have the cleavage.
Put your face between those breasts.
Next sexy witch is one I have already mentioned, and that is Samantha from Bewitched. Elizabeth Montgomery is so stunning. I swear, if someone told me she was a witch in real life, I'd fucking believe them. She is such an icon of 1960s television, and her, along with Dick York's Darren, were such a great pair. Not Dick Sargent, though. His Darren came across as more of a dickhead asshole to me. It's a damn shame York had to leave the role of Darren after season 5 due to severe back pain. Elizabeth Montgomery just had this elegance and just wholesomeness to Samantha, her character. It's just a real pleasure to watch her in the show, and she is absolutely beautiful. If someone were to put a gun to my head and had me choose between Samantha from Bewitched or Jeannie from I Dream of Jeannie, I'm sorry, but I'm picking Samantha every fucking time. No disrespect to Barbara Eden, she was absolutely beautiful too, and she's still alive to this day. Holy shit. It's just at the end of the day, Elizabeth Montgomery just has the magic. Now, on to the final sexy witch.
Come on, man, let it go.
The cream of the crop, my favorite Archie franchise character, Sabrina Spellman.
Well. Look at what the Black Cat dragged in. If it isn't Sabrina Spellman. Cheryl Blossom. Feels like it's been centuries, doesn't it?
And if I had to go with what live-action version of her, honestly, I gotta go with Kiernan Shipka. She really nailed Sabrina for me in all aspects of the character. Which is no surprise there, since Kiernan Shipka was shown as a wonderful actress since she first broke out as Don Draper's daughter Sally from the show Mad Men, and she's gone on to do some really great roles. And of course, the main reason why is, well, come on now, she is fucking beautiful. Especially her little sly smile she has as Sabrina Spellman. But I also have to mention the lovely and talented Melissa Joan Hart, who portrayed Sabrina in the TV sitcom of the 1990s, who did a very good job as well. But ultimately, Kiernan's Sabrina is just closer to the comics for me in terms of personality and getting the essence of the character. Well, guys, that's all for this segment, but before I move on to the second half of the show and talk about Halloween 3, I want to point something out about all the examples I put on my sexy witch list. Now, can anyone tell me a shared trait that all the characters I have listed beside being a witch have in common? Fuck it, I'll just say it. They're all blondes. I tell you guys, blondes just have a special effect on me.
Man, you wanna act up, get naughty in this bitch.
I said it before and I'll say it again. I still have this theory to this day that when God made blonde women, he was feeling extra generous that day in particular. Now let me get into Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Here's the preview for it. Take a listen.
Listen, he just walked up out of the rain. I swear to God that's all there was to it.
Did my father say anything to you the night he died?
I don't know. Your father came into the hospital. I thought he was crazy, out of his mind. He's hanging onto a Halloween mask. He wouldn't let it go. And what he said was,
They're going to kill us. All of us.
and in a little while he was dead. And I don't know what the hell is going on.
I've been doing some detective work. I think my father ran into trouble somewhere between here and Santa Mira.
Santa Mira, founded in 1887. Colonel Cochran converted it into a toy factory.
You happen to know anything about this Cochran?
He's watching you, friend, I guarantee you that.
Where are they taking her? They're taking her to the factory.
I've got nothing here to indicate there was ever a body at all.
Operator, this is an emergency. They're gonna kill us all.
Why, Cochran? Do I need a reason? I do love a good joke, and this is the best ever. A joke on the children. But there's a better reason. You don't really know much about Halloween. Halloween. Between the real and the unreal. the dead might be looking in.
You've got to believe me!
The last great one took place 3,000 years ago while the hills ran red.
Witchcraft.
To us, it was a way of controlling our environment.
Stop! Stop it!
The world's going to change tonight, Doctor. I'm glad you'll be able to watch it.
Then, happy Halloween.
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, the night no one comes home.
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, released in 1982 and directed by Tommy Lee Wallace, with a script co-written by John Carpenter and Wallace, with the initial draft by Nigel Neal that got heavily rewritten, and a score by Carpenter. The film stars Tom Atkins as Dr. Dan Chalice, our alcoholic hero, Stacey Nelkin, god damn, as Ellie Grimbridge, our main female protagonist, Dan O'Hurley, or Healy, whatever the fuck, as the villainous Colonel Cochrane. I tried to do an Irish accent. I can't do it. Nancy Loomis as Linda Chalice, aka the asshole wife. Garn Stevens as Marge Gutman. Wendy Westberg as Teddy. Ralph Straight as Buddy Kupfer. Maddie Norman as Nurse Agnes. And finally, Dick Warlock as one of the men in black. I'm about 90 to 95% sure I butchered at least most of those names, but worth a try. What the fuck do you want from me? The story in my own words is this. An alcoholic doctor and a young woman investigate the mysterious company, Silver Shamrock, that may be connected to the murder of the young woman's father, and uncover a terrible conspiracy to murder all the children in the world on Halloween night. That's the most simple, bare-bones plot synopsis, and it's gonna get a lot fucking crazier when I get into the details, trust me. Now, let me get into the major plot beats. So the film opens up with this man running from these strange men in black suits, managing to crush one and get away before being taken to the hospital. This is where we meet our main protagonist, Dan Chalice, who just separated from his kinda bitchy wife and sees his kids on the weekends. The man named Grimbridge warns everybody that they're all gonna die. And shortly after he's stabilized and sleeping, a man dressed in a suit comes in and crushes his face with his bare hands, killing Grimbridge before going back to his car, pouring gas on himself, and setting him along with the car ablaze before exploding. That was fucking hilarious. Dan Chalice is very troubled by this whole fucked up situation and feels guilty for having a patient murdered on his watch, which increases even more when his young daughter comes in and asks to identify his body. Dan gets approached by the young woman named Ellie at his favorite bar a few days later, and they both decide to look into his death together by heading into the town of Santa Mira, where Grimbridge was at last before his murder. The town is a company town run by Colonel Cochrane, a mysterious millionaire and head of the Silver Shamrock Company, who specialize in making toys, joke products, and Halloween masks, which is what Grimbridge was doing in town since he placed an order for his store. Both Dan and Ellie quickly realize there's something up with this fucking town, while at the same time they begin falling for one another. Meanwhile, they're not the only ones staying at the hotel in town involved with the company. There's Buddy, the #1 salesman of Silver Shamrock masks, who brought along his annoying-ass wife and kid, and Marge, another store owner, pissed off her order got fucked with. After Marge has an untimely death due to fucking around with one of the Silver Shamrock pins that each mask comes with, since it had a mysterious computer chip on the back of it, after fucking around with it, she gets blasted in the face with a goddamn laser. More on that later. So the next day, Dan and Ellie, along with Buddy and his family, take a tour of the factory with Cochrane showing them all around, except for a mysterious room that was called Final Processing. After finding out Ellie's father was indeed there by discovering his car at the factory, they head back to the motel and pack up to get the fuck out of Dodge. But unfortunately, it's too late as a swarm of men in black make their move, kidnapping Ellie with Dan running away before fighting off one of them and discovering in the process, they're all fucking robots. Dan gets captured by Cochran and his robot men, and the big plan is revealed. Cochran wants to kill all the children in the world as a blood sacrifice, like in the Celtic days of old, by playing the Silver Shamrock commercial when the kids are sitting down in front of the TV, and when the commercial is playing while they're wearing their Silver Shamrock masks with a green pin attached, it will cause their heads to be absolutely obliterated by poisonous insects, snakes, and spiders that are magically summoned by the power of Stonehenge put into a computer chip on the back of those pins. No, I did not make that shit up. It's so fucking complex and ambiguous how that actually works. It's honestly easier to say fuck it, witchcraft, which, funny enough, Dan Chalice chalks it up to. Anyway, this gets demonstrated with Buddy and his family during a demonstration where Buddy Jr. gets his head fucking destroyed, and both Buddy and his wife are presumably killed by the mysterious insects and snakes. After all that crazy shit happens, Dan manages to escape and free Ellie, where they then proceed to turn the tables on Cochran and his men by seemingly killing them by pouring all these Silver Shamrock pins on them while they're above on a catwalk during a test run. Dan and Ellie escape the exploding factory, hop in the car, and haul ass out of town to warn everybody. But, unfortunately, Ellie attacks Dan, and in defending himself, it's revealed that it's an Ellie robot and it's not her, implying the real Ellie was killed and replaced. Dan hauls ass to the nearest gas station and frantically calls the 3 TV stations to tell them not to play the commercial, which shockingly works with the first 2, but the third one gets played with Dan desperately screaming into the phone to get them to stop it, and the film ends on a pretty dark note implying that a lot of kids are about to die. Now, holy shit, that was a lot. That was the basic gist of the story. Let me get into some of the specifics and talk characters and certain plot elements. I need another drink. First, I want to talk about the main hero, Dan the Man Chalice, played by the fucking legend himself, Tom Atkins. Now, what I love is that the hero of the movie is so unconventional, where it's typically someone young, relatively speaking at least, conventionally hot, and mostly on the Boy Scout, nice guy side of things, unless they're more of an anti-hero bad boy. Dr. Chalice is this middle-aged, late 40s, porn stash-having, booze-smelling, pussy-chasing son of a bitch, and I fucking love him. He's separated from his wife Linda, who, while coming across as kind of bitchy, is probably fed up with whatever shenanigans Dan got up to while they were married, so who the fuck knows? Maybe she's more justified in her attitude. I mean, we clearly see this guy loves to drink, so that could have been a factor.
This place is a zoo.
I saw Cochran. His car, anyway.
And your old man stayed here on the 20th.
I was right. We'll go directly to the factory. We'll
Whoa,
find out
hold on.
exactly
Slow down. It's getting late. I could use a drink.
And they have 2 kids together who, while Dan clearly cares about them, he's kind of neglectful towards them at the same time, since he was supposed to be spending time with them, but instead he's chasing mysteries with Ellie.
Linda, I can't get out of it. I'm really sorry. No, it's just a bunch of doctors talking about boring stuff. Linda, take it easy. I'll be back to take them trick-or-treating, I promise. No, I can't remember the name of the hotel. I'll call you Monday. I gotta go. Bye.
The bar scene when Dan and Ellie meet up and Dan shows his confusion at the circumstances of Ellie's father's murder was pretty telling in how it's been on the forefront of his mind since it happened.
I saw something that night. I don't know, your father came into the hospital. I thought he was crazy, out of his mind. He's hanging onto a Halloween mask. He wouldn't let it go. And what he said was, they're going to kill us all. And in a little while, he was dead. And I don't know what the hell is going on.
And speaking of Ellie, whom I'm pretty sure a big part of Dan's motive, aside from genuine curiosity, was the fact that he was trying to fuck her the moment he laid eyes on her, which honestly, I don't blame him whatsoever. The whole time they're together, especially when they're in town, I could feel the tension between the two. And Dan being just coy and trying to play it off, suggesting maybe they should get separate motel rooms or he sleep in the car. Every single man watching this movie knows what he's fucking doing. He's feeling her out, engaging her reactions and response to see if she's interested in getting down and dirty. And because, well, goddamn, we get this great moment when all that tension comes to a head.
Maybe I ought to get another room.
That would look sort of suspicious, wouldn't it?
What I mean is, if you'd feel more comfortable, I could sleep in the car. Be better than this floor anyway.
Where do you want to sleep, Dr. Chalice?
That's a dumb question, Miss Grimbridge.
So we get this short love scene between Ellie and Dan, where it's just this beautiful young woman in a sexy black nightie and this middle-aged booze hound motherfucker, and it's quite the sight to see them together. Especially when Dan pulls the top of her nightie down and starts sucking on her tit, would just have me like,
Sweet Jesus.
Clear.
Why could it have been me?
and this fucking guy has no idea how old she is. He asks her after they fucked at least twice.
Boy, aren't you just the least bit tired?
No.
Wait a minute. How old are you?
Relax. I'm older than I look.
Holy shit, this man was gonna catch a case eventually. Now, I believe Tom Atkins was about 46 and Stacey Nelkin, who played Ellie, was about 22. And the character of Ellie is clearly meant to be the same age as her. But it's just fucking wild to me that this man asked her age after they already fucked. Maybe you should start with that first, Dan. Jesus Christ. And Dan's final scene of the movie was fucking perfect, with him frantically trying to get the commercial pulled from the air, but unfortunately the final station doesn't seem to heed his warning, and we get this fantastic ending of him screaming at the top of his lungs.
Dark masks, gather round your TV set. Put on your masks and watch. All witches, all skeletons, all jack-o'-lanterns.
The third commercial, it's still on, please. Take off the third channel, it's still running. Stop it, please, for God's sake, please stop it. There's no more time. You've got to, please, stop it now, turn it off. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it.
Tom Atkins was great in the role as Dr. Dan Chalice, and he plays a flawed, but ultimately good-hearted man who's trying to do the right thing. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem to work out that way in the end. Next character I want to talk about is Ellie, played by the absolutely beautiful Stacey Nelkin. She has such this wide-eyed, doe-eyed look that will make anyone say, fuck yeah, I'll drive you to this mysterious, creepy-ass town on a wild goose chase, just for the small chance they might get lucky, which Dan certainly did, multiple times, might I add. Ellie is determined to find out what happened to her father, and on one hand, she's very driven. On the other hand, she's really fucking horny and definitely has some daddy issues. Hell, I mentioned Dan was thinking about getting it with her the moment he laid eyes on her. Honestly, Ellie is in the same fucking boat, with her being just as interested in Dan. I don't know why, but she is. Good for him. The moment they get into the hotel room together, you can tell she was just waiting to make her move, and she's the one that makes the first move, not Dan.
Where do you want to sleep, Dr. Chalice?
That's a dumb question, Miss Grimbridge.
Now, unfortunately, she ends up getting captured by Cochran and his robots and either killed or locked away somewhere. Who fucking knows? Honestly, I think she sadly did die in the reveal of the Ellie robot. While kind of wacky and funny, kind of sad too, since I really did like Ellie as a character. My only regret for the movie is that she didn't get more focus. And I gotta mention this one more time. She let Tom Atkins suck on her titties.
Just put it in my mouth. Oh.
So, as far as I'm concerned, she's A-okay in my book. Now on to the villain of the film, Colonel Cochran. Holy shit, I cannot do an Irish accent. That was fucking terrible. I should be embarrassed and ashamed of myself. Anyway, Cochran is the head of the Silver Shamrock Company who desires to kill all the children in the world. His basic motive is essentially, fuck them kids. He's played by Dan O'Hurley, oh my god, I cannot fucking read. Dan. I'm just gonna say Dan. He's played by Dan, who also played the CEO of OCP from the RoboCop movies, which is pretty damn cool. This guy is an amazing villain since while he does have a motive on paper for why he's doing this completely ridiculous and insane shit, where it's essentially a ritual sacrifice to the old Celtic gods, it truly comes across as he's doing it just because why the fuck not, which is incredible.
Why, Cochran? Why? Do I need a reason? Mr. Comfort was right, you know. I do love a good joke, and this is the best ever. A joke on the children.
I agree 100% with the general consensus for the most part when it comes to making truly evil villains, that they don't need a motive for the fucked up things that they do. They do it because they want to and because they could. That right there is some evil shit. His whole scene with Chalice explaining his motive is fantastic. Take a listen to it.
But there's a better reason. You don't really know much about Halloween. You thought no further than the strange custom of having your children wear masks and go out begging for candy. It was the start of the year in our old Celtic lands, and we'd be waiting in our houses of wattles and clay. The barriers would be down, you see, between the real and the unreal. And the dead might be looking in to sit by our fires of turf. Halloween. The festival of Samhain. The last great one took place 3,000 years ago, and the hills ran red with the blood of animals and children. Sacrifices are part of our world, our craft. Witchcraft. To us, it was a way of controlling our environment. It's not so different now. It's time again. In the end, we don't decide these things, you know. The planets do. They're in alignment, and it's time again. The world's going to change tonight, Doctor. I'm glad you'll be able to watch it. And happy Halloween.
And let's not forget that the OG John Carpenter Halloween music playing in the background and reaching its crescendo after Cochran says Happy Halloween is honestly chef's fucking kiss. Cochran is like a fucking Bond villain of the more horror genre variety. I'd love to see more horror films have a more megalomaniacal supervillain as the main threat. It's actually very well done, and Cochran is a very memorable villain. Now on to the final segment, which is me bringing up questions and trying to make sense of certain shit. Number 1. How the fuck did they steal the Stonehenge rock? That line Cochran has to Dan saying he wouldn't believe how they got it had me like, please explain how you got this damn rock. I need a fucking prequel with Cochran and his robots planning a heist a la Ocean 11 or some Mission Impossible shit. I don't know. That would be fucking hilarious. They would probably use that deepfake technology to revive Dan O'Hurley from beyond the grave to make a cameo like they did in Star Wars for Peter Cushing. Number 2. How do these robots actually work? How do they charge? What's their power source? And are they just freaking oversized toys? And why the fuck does their oil and synthetic fluids look like fucking egg yolk? That shit was disgusting when Dan punched the chest of that one robot and his hand was covered in that nasty shit. Number 3. So they're basically combining the magic of Stonehenge with computer chips, technology, and the mask, and the commercial sends out some sort of signal to trigger the kill switch. Okay. But how did they discover that signal? And there's no fucking way they figured that shit out in time for Halloween, since they had about a week since the theft of the damn rock. And on the subject of Cochran's plan, how does different time zones affect it? And he has to know not every fucking kid is going to be watching his annoying ass commercial, so I'm assuming he just wants to kill a large amount of kids. Does he have a quota or something? Seriously, what the fuck were the parameters for this sacrifice? Number 4. What the hell happened to Ellie? Is she actually dead or just replaced and she was locked away somewhere? How the fuck did he manage to create an Ellie robot so damn fast? And the most important question related to Robot Ellie, is she anatomically correct in the sense that Dan could still fuck her? It's sad to say how that question isn't so uncommon anymore in real life, since as of now, there's real life sex bots you can actually get, and that's becoming portrayed more and more in mainstream fiction. Personally, I find the idea fucking disturbing. Would you actually penetrate a goddamn machine, people, or have one penetrate you? Holy shit. And no, sex toys don't count in this case, I'm talking robot dick. What if it malfunctions while you're inside of it, or it's inside of you? That's a fucking body horror story right there. Bender from Futurama, what do you have to say about all this?
Stay away from our women! You got mental fever, boy! Mental fever!
And final question, how successful was Cochran in his master plan? Did he kill a shit ton of kids, or will it even work with the factory destroyed? I mean, honestly, I'm glad we never got a concrete answer since the ambiguous ending is perfect as is.
Happy Halloween, 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 happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
Well, guys, this is the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed my Summerween special. Now I really have to get off my ass and really lock in on this Jaws Christmas in July special I'm trying to get out on the 25th. So I need to focus my remaining brain cells on that. Well, whatever brain cells I do have left. But never fear, you will still get some short episodes from me here and there, along with whatever insanity and beautiful words on whatever the hell I feel like talking about that day. This has been Adam the Movie Guy, and I'll see you next episode. Oh, and happy Summerween.
Turn it off! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!